No, I appreciate it. I think this will be a good opportunity to get each other's point of view in a civil way, and I look forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Yep, yep. No worries. Glad to have you on here at Pancakes. Glad that you could join me. For those of you at home who don't know or who are just tuning in, we have differing views on the correct way to make the ramen noodle.
I'll say.
Right. I'm all about draining it. Like, you make the noodle, it's done, it's not a soup, and you drain it. Whereas Pancakes here.
Well, I think to save some time for our constituents and our friends and followers, I think they know that. I think they've seen the video and they're informed on the issues. Let's not insult their intelligence.
Right.
They know where we're coming from. So I say we just dive right into it.
Fine, go opening shots. The ball's in your court, buddy.
Oh well, let's not make this out to be where this is some sort of confrontation or a war of words. No, this is we're gonna share ideas and let the people decide. I mean, if you'd like it to be contentious, I could certainly oblige, but I don't think that's what that's for us. So let me first say, I appreciate you having me here in this forum and spending the time and the technology. I know that where you are right now, it's people are normally out working and doing things, and for you to well, whatever it is you do, you're here doing this with us, which is nice. So let me just say this as an opening remark, opening salvo, that I welcome your ideas as much as I don't understand them. I welcome them, and I look forward to this open discussion.
Well, okay. I mean, you're trying to win my heart. Like, I appreciate that, because it's a bit nicer than the sourness that came across in your video, which was a response to mine. So I like this change of tone. I appreciate it, but I mean, let's get down to brass tacks here. Like, we don't see eye to eye. Like, straight up, we don't see eye to eye.
We do not.
So I don't understand. Okay, so you go to the soup house. You say, "Sir, give me a bowl of your finest soup." You sit down, and what's in it? Like, it's a bunch of wet soup, right? So you eat it. You're there for soup. But you don't go to the soup house and say, "Sir, can you put so much stuff in that soup so that the soup is secondary and it's no longer soup?" Because that's what you're getting when you don't drain the broth out of the ramen. It's soup that just has some other stuff in it. And no, you're there for the ramen noodle. Like, that's it. Like, that is why you're there. So get rid of that junk, which frankly is nowhere near as flavorful as the noodle itself. So, like, why? What purpose, what possible purpose could you have to leave that in there?
Well, first of all, let me say I'm a little disappointed at the tone so far. It seems aggressive, seems a little bit attacking. But secondly,
I'm agitated.
Well, clearly. My second point would be I don't understand some of the language. There's soup houses, and we're discarding things that aren't as good. I'm looking for a little more solid reasoning, a little more solid logic. But with that being said, it is a soup. You can dress it up all you want.
No.
You could put a dress on it and call it Nancy, but that don't make it your date.
No.
Okay?
You have to get way more ramen to make it a date. Not happening. Not when it's all wet. It goes all over the place.
Well, I don't know where you come from, but where I do, being all wet and going all over the place isn't the worst thing that could happen. So let me also just say this. I've heard you in the past also refer to the noodle. That's fine. That sounds good. The noodle. But that sounds a little elitist to me, as in there's one true noodle. Only one noodle. Well, that's fine.
Well,
but
what
you
can I
need
say?
to talk to the You need to say you're sorry to the people in Italy. You need to say you're sorry to the people in Spain, the people who also use the noodle. Now, to say that your noodle is the one true right noodle, you can believe that. You can do that in your own home. But once you start to spread that amongst other people,
look,
it becomes something else altogether.
Look, okay. I was not referring to a universal noodle, a noodle above all other noodles.
Well, that's not what it sounded like to me. That's not what it sounded like to me.
Of the ramen noodle, which is what it is. That's what we're here to discuss, is the ramen noodle. So anytime I've said the noodle, it's always been after I've said the ramen noodle. So it's just, if you ever hear me say the noodle, just think the ramen noodle. That's what I'm referring to.
So that's the only one that your policies apply to then.
Oh, absolutely.
Is the ramen
absolutely noodle. That's what we're here to discuss. I mean, there's 1,000 different types of noodle out there. I mean, I'm not an expert on those, or I don't really have opinions on most of them. But it's the ramen noodle. You certainly have opinions on this. Yeah, strong opinions.
Apparently.
Yeah, like apparently. I can't. You know, the water should be nowhere near the noodle. Like, that's why I got the hairdryer out, because that is supposed, like, there is still soupiness in there when it's left, and I didn't want to get into
this. I didn't want to get into this so early, but since you brought it up, the hairdryer. Are we really supposed to start bringing in other appliances into our kitchens?
You got a pan
around our children.
A fork, you've got a cutting board. You got a knife. You got a blender. You got a microwave. You got an oven. You got like.
But I don't have a lawnmower, and I don't have a weed whacker, and I don't have a flamethrower. You telling me that? Do you have children?
No.
Do you have children?
No children. I can't believe that you're even.
I do.
Here.
I have children, and I can't imagine a world where I would tell my children, "Hey, kids, why don't we plug in this device that specifically has a sticker right there on its tag to tell us not to put it anywhere near water, and yet this man is draining water." I'm sorry this is upsetting to you. I realize what happened in your life with your family member, and I don't mean to bring this up and to make it hurtful for you, but I know what happened in your world and in your life with the hairdryer and the bathtub.
Yep.
And you're now telling me to teach my children to bring in a hairdryer into the kitchen where there's water being drained all willy-nilly.
No.
Explain that.
It's not being drained willy-nilly. I am not advocating that you bring the hairdryer into the bathroom, and you should not
Is water being drained and sloshed around, yes or no?
You should not be cooking noodle in the bathroom or near any large tubs of open water. Straight up. So when you drain it, you need to drain it straight into a sink. I cook my noodles
in a giant tub of open water.
No. See, that's why you're doing this. You're doing this wrong. I saw you put that extra water in there, so it's like, yeah, if you're dumping water all crazy, like, if you're getting giant jars of water that you've got stored up to slam into your soup, then fine. Don't bring a hairdryer into it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
I've actually eliminated all electrical devices in what I'm cooking.
That's what I'm saying. If you do it right and you drain it, then there isn't water hanging around. There's enough water maybe to like drown an ant, but unless your children are ants, they're going to be just fine. You need to teach them respect.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't slight my children. They're innocent.
Hypothetical. You don't look like an ant, so anyway, we're getting off.
And what is that supposed to mean? Well, I'm not the one inciting personal attacks here.
I'm not attacking.
Now, I think we should take a break from this for a minute, because we're clearly not going to agree on broth versus no broth.
Fine.
And second of all, the fact that you and your people refer to it as broth clearly validates it as something other than just cooking water. You call it broth. Well, broth is not something I'm comfortable just throwing away. You know how many people die in this world of starvation, of thirst, just withering away in the hot Saharan sun? They would take water, they would take broth, they would take anything, and yet you just throw it away.
That's not
regardless.
What we're
let's move on. Let's move on.
Thank you. cheap shot there
Well,
at the end.
oh,
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
disagree. I think you're happy to move on. We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Second of all, do you leave your ramen in a whole brick, or does it get broken up? And I know the answer, but I'm being polite.
Well, you can look.
I can do whatever the hell I want. I know that.
You either put it in a brick or like you just sort of gently break it. That's it. Like you are not. Again, you're not atomizing this noodle to like I don't even know why you would possibly. Well, actually, no. It doesn't make sense. If you're gonna drink it, you want all the tiny little atom bits to go down your throat, right? No. See, that's wrong. Boom.
That's it, huh?
That's it. Right,
Punctuated with a boom.
Black and white. This is it. How can you argue against it being wrong?
Oh, I could, but I'm not gonna bother with it because I believe your message and your argument has done wonders for us both. So let's just leave that. How about egg? What do you think about egg? What do we do with the egg?
Easy. Crack it open, dump it in, mix it up. Gets in there with all the bits, and it improves it. You know, you have to crack open to unleash that flavor potential of the egg. Like if you don't crack it open, like
do you understand how much nutrition is in the shell itself? You're just gonna throw. I don't understand this wastefulness. You just throw away water. We're gonna throw away the shell. I bet you throw away the package. I bet you don't do anything with that.
Yeah,
do you make hats with the package?
No.
I do. I make hats for my children with the package.
I'm glad. You know, you have children. Like I said, I don't support anybody in Sub-Sahara Africa.
You don't think there's children? You don't think there's children in the world that could use a hat?
No, not like that. I mean, maybe a hat made out of like,
ladies and gentlemen, I will continue this out of courtesy, but I believe that everyone knows what's really going on here right now. So you're just going to throw away a perfectly good shell. You're not going to drop it in whole. I bet you don't even put bourbon or Windex in it.
No, I don't. That is not that. Look, those liquids, you're just making it soupier. You're just getting it more wet, and that's wrong. Like that is straight up. That's like at the core of this. It needs to be dry. It needs to be dry.
To find another instance in this world, in our existence as humans, where that sentence would be true. You're just making it more wet, and that's not good. I challenge you to find another instance where that is not
easy. Go to like Indonesia, where they get monsoons and stuff, and they're out there screaming and crying because their cows just floated away. Like, and they would want it to be less wet. I'm sure with their noodles. They're the same.
So we're going with the swept away cow argument.
Well, you asked for an example. I'm giving you an example.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same man who is throwing away perfectly good water. He's throwing away perfectly good eggshells. And I bet he throws the seasoning packet away. I bet he just tosses it in a ditch somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, that's pretty much right. Once it leaves my hand, once I throw that thing, it's not my responsibility anymore. I don't care where it goes, as long as it's not in the noodle, because that's where it's the worst. Like, the worst possible place in the entire world for that packet is in that pot of noodle.
This is wasteful, egregious, self-important, absolutely abhorrent behavior. And you know what? I'm not one to judge. I'll leave it up to you and your personal deity, whatever it is you happen to believe in, which after hearing this, I would find it hard to believe you believe in any higher power, frankly, sir. But that's between you and your God. The fact that you just throw things away that are perfectly good for using, I don't know what to tell you.
So what about, okay, you're all about not throwing things away. So what about your great, ramen soup that you're drinking? What happens to all that? Where does it go when it's done? Does it all become a part of your body? No, it doesn't. You have to throw some of it away. How do you do that?
I was hoping you would bring this up. Do you think that I just let all the waste from that go out of my body and into some field somewhere or into some pit in my backyard.
Well,
I collect it.
What do you?
I collect it.
So hold on, where in the world do you live that you have access to a computer and you collect your own waste products?
America.
America. Is all
Scoreboard.
America like this?
Not yet, but we're moving towards it.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Well, you don't. So we're on top again.
Yeah, not for long.
I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to. Here's my problem. Here's my conflict. My inner conflict. You seem like a great guy. You seem like a down to earth, genuine, honest guy. But how can you just continue to make so many wrong, bad decisions at every turn?
Look,
I don't get it.
Here's the deal. You're only calling these decisions bad because your worldview is based from this soupy perspective that just you can't break out of that shell. You know, just like the shell on your egg stays whole, the shell in your whole worldview is constricted by this liquid pressure inside your skull that's pressing down on your brain, making you get more and more liquid. But if you can break that, if you can let the pressure out, you know, drill some holes, whatever, then you can see things from a new perspective, from a new angle, where liquid is not the answer, where more broth or soup or wastewater, you know, semantics, where that's not the answer, where you gotta get that cooking done, and you gotta get out of town.
Semantics. That's what you call this.
That's right.
After all this time, and you know the importance of what we're talking about, and you want to play it down to semantics.
That's what it is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's probably enough. And if you want to accuse me of seeing the world through broth-colored glasses, well, so be it. I'll wear that. I will wear that label. That is nothing I will shy away from, sir.
Well, you know what?
So I think we're done here.
I don't think I can change your opinion.
I think we're done here.
I've pounded against that shell over and over again, and like I don't even think an atom bomb of drained ramen, like dropped directly into your face, is going to change your mind, even though it would change the world. So that's
no, it would.
I'll leave you.
Oh, thank you. You're going to leave me.
Yeah.
As you go off to mix together mayo and ranch and relish and devil juice.
That was an exotic recipe, perhaps even a forbidden
recipe. It was a goddamn abomination is what it was. And again, you have to rectify that with your creator.
That's fine. That's fine. I can deal with that. I can sleep at night, you know, because I know I'm secure in who I am and in
you can sleep with a dry belly.
Yeah, exactly.
You can sleep with a dry belly full of dry noodles.
Right.
Why even bother cooking them? Why don't you just chew them up right out of the package like some sort of Shauna Devil heathen?
You
just
are
chewing that
getting ridiculous. Just I'm gonna head that off at the pass.
You're right.
And say,
you're right. I'm the one that's ridiculous. I started the ridiculous parade. You're right.
Thank you.
I think we're done. I think we're done here. Oh no, thank you.
No, thank you. You know, I can tell you're a class act. You're really, you know, you've got it together. So,
yeah, great,
wonderful.
Great.
Well, thank you, Pancakes. I've been Calvin.
Oh, yeah. You've been something, all right.
Wonderful.
Thank you.